Podvengers. It's your boy Blacksby from the Cinestro Corps, and I'm just here to let you guys know that the director's cut of this episode was absolutely loaded with so much great stuff that we had to split up into multiple parts. Please make sure that you listen to the other part and get the full Cinestro Corps experience so you can hear the inner ramblings of our minds as we talk about all things nerdy. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this great experience and bearing with us. See you guys next time on the next episode of the Cinestro Corps. Peace. Well, hello there to all the Mandalorians. Welcome back to another episode of the Cinestro Corps. It's your boy Blacksby, aka Moff Gridian. Today I'm here with Pac Rizla, Him Grogu, and the Crypture Commandos. And we're just so pumped to dive into another Star Wars-centric episode as we talk about the finale of Season 3 of The Mandalorian, streaming on Disney+, the announcements from Star Wars Celebration, plus much, much more. Make sure you Mythosar smash that like button, that subscribe button, so you do not miss on the most entertaining podcast in the galaxy. Now, without further ado, this is the way. Yeah, let's talk about that finale, bro. Let's talk about how Mandalorian Season 3... First of all, this is to all the haters out there talking about Season 3 is trash and it's a dip in quality. Kiss my Mandalorian ass, bro. This was a good finale. I think
they're right, though. I do think overall the third season has been...
I think
it is
the worst of the three. I agree.
Nah.
Y'all not seen the vision.
But I do think that this finale, I think, was a step in the right direction, and I think it ended well. I know I've listened to a lot of people, and I've read a lot of people who didn't like the finale. I thought it worked. I think it tied up a lot of loose ends, but I mean, this season was only going to be as good as it was, considering you don't have Dave Filoni working on it, considering you don't have Dave Filoni's fingerprints all over it. It was mostly Jon Favreau writing the entirety of the season. Dave was too busy working on Ahsoka, so I think it was just kind of like a bullshit season. They're just like, okay, here's the big.
Tell Filoni wasn't there the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think all things considered, is it the best piece of Star Wars media we've ever had? No. Is it the worst?
That belongs to Andor.
Absolutely not. So it's like
Andor good, Andor better.
Andor good?
Yeah.
Versus Andor better.
I think season 2 of Mando is the best season of Mando.
Yeah, especially with that finale. I was about to say, which one do y'all think is y'all's favorite ending for the season? It's got to be season 2 for sure.
And it might be nostalgia, but it's the fighting between Din and Moff Gideon in that second finale. The season finale.
Hey, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
The spear versus the Darksaber and shit.
We just caught Luis, bro. Luis, we just caught you, my boy. You said you like the finale for season 2? You said that's your favorite? Guess who directed the finale, bro? Peyton Reed, boy. We caught you. We caught you. We caught you. We caught you. We caught you, my boy.
I forgot.
Like not 4K, probably 720p. But
yeah, I forgot.
Oh, 1080.
Motherfucker did direct that shit. He didn't write it though. What the fuck? He didn't write that shit.
True. That is
That's true. Jon Favreau wrote that, but he wrote like everything.
As far as the
I don't
conclusion,
like that. I don't like that episode because it's wonderfully directed. I like it because it's a good conclusion to season. To a good season of television.
The adjective "good" is still in there.
What were you just saying as though? Because I think.
How would y'all as what I like to do whenever I watch a show, right? I like to, because a lot of shows, they get cut before their prime, before they actually begin to expand on something great, right?
Netflix.
Like, Netflix does this quite a bit. Like, you have even like other older shows, like one show I really love that was cut before its time, Spectacular Spider-Man. The finale is amazing.
Oh my God.
And I feel like a good season finale is impactful enough to where if it were the final episode, like even if it leaves things open, if it were the final episode of that series, it puts a nice little bow on it. So I guess we'll start with Matt. Matt, how do you view this? If this were like the last Mandalorian related thing, how would you view this as a good conclusion since it's the most recent finale?
I think they ended it in a way to where if they did end right here, it would be a great ending for like Din and Grogu, their story would be perfect because you can infer everything after this. You can be like, okay, they went on their little adventures. Grogu grew to be 200,000 years old or whatever, and then died at like the ripe old age of 120. I don't know, space years or whatever.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, this finale leaves a lot of questions moving forward outside of Din and Grogu's story. What happens with the Mandalorians in between the show and the sequel trilogy? What happens with if you think about Moff Gideon? I think me personally, this is my own speculation. I think Moff Gideon, the real Moff Gideon, is still alive somewhere because the clones all had mustaches.
They didn't have
And
mustaches.
they didn't have
You
mustaches.
believe that?
And the Moff Gideon we saw had no mustache, but the Moff Gideon season 1 and 2 had the mustache. I was like, y'all trying
They
to
got
pull a
Dollar
fast
Shave
one on?
Club in space, I guess.
Yeah, bro took the vibro blade and said, cut that shit off. But I personally think that they left a lot of stuff. They left it
I think my
open.
girl's got one of those. A vibro. Oh wait, never mind. No, it's not a
Oh
vibro.
my
blade.
I
God.
hate
Oh
this.
my god! Oh my god!
I
Frank
guess
Jr., where the soundboard, bro?
I guess that's a good way to go and throw it to Luis. Luis, what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this as a conclusion? How are you feeling about it?
The people's champion.
The people.
I feel good. I mean, I hear everybody's concerns, and I understand that people thought this season was weak. I understand people's
They're wrong.
concerns about the flaws of this episode. Specifically like Gideon's involvement in the season overall. Kind of the rush nature of the season as a whole. Kind of how it felt like they nerfed the new Mandalorian Beskar alloyed armored clone troopers at the end of the episode, and how they were super strong in episode 7, but then they seemed to be kind of defeated super easily in episode 8. So I understand all those aspects of it, but I do think overall it ended on a really positive note. We got Grogu. I mean, Din adopting Grogu.
Finally,
leading the Mandalorians. Mandalore finally being repopulated by the Mandalorians, and Grogu and Din going on to continue their adventures in the galaxy as bounty hunters.
Or to not continue their adventures, though. Which
right, for the New Republic. So it's like I don't think it's going to end right here. I know what your question is, but I think they have too much time and too much story to tell to end it all right here. But if it were to conclude, I do think that overall, I think it's 3 very good seasons of television, and I do think that for the most part, I think The Mandalorian worked, and I really like the finale, and could have been worse.
Yeah.
I think it could end. I think it could end right here, and then you don't bring in Din and Grogu until Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie, which comes out in like 2026. You let Din and Grogu kind of have their not moment together, but have their little time together where he has been adopted, and maybe they go out and Din starts bounty hunting again. But I think that like, let's say that we don't get another Mando season for a couple of years. I'm cool with this ending. Basically, I think some shit could have happened this episode to kind of connect it to Ahsoka, but there's also been some things in season 2 and throughout the season, specifically last week's episode, that does connect it to Ahsoka and Thrawn.
Yeah,
specifically to where we know Din's going to be back.
Yeah, I remember we had that conversation off camera where you were kind of angling for wanting more interconnectedness within the Star Wars universe,
and
or
I'm
the
a
TV
greedy
universe.
motherfucker.
Right.
I want that. I'm greedy, bro. Like I'm one of those like, give me. I could sit here and think about what we could have gotten, but I'm content with what we have.
Right.
The whole connection with Thrawn and how they've made it feel, especially with the Book of Boba, how everything is interconnected. I mean, I think everyone knows at this point that everything is connected.
Right.
We know that it's going to lead into Thrawn and whatnot. But after last week's episode, you open it up with that scene Gideon talking to the Shadow Council and talking specifically about Thrawn for a good 10 minutes.
Right.
Then you have Paleon, who is Thrawn's
the right hand man, the boy.
books,
and the point of view
trilogy
character in the books, right?
Paleon is there when Thrawn dies. Paleon in the books takes over the remnants of the Empire.
That boy gonna be old as shit by the time this movie comes out.
He's gonna be at the end. He's just gonna kind of be there.
But it was like I was telling you whenever we were texting in the group chat was that I think they did a good enough job just kind of sprinkling in little details about Thrawn. Ahsoka mentions Thrawn last season. They mentioned Thrawn this season. It's like, all right, that's it. That's all you get. This shows the Mandalorian. It's not Rebels 2.0. It's not. That's versus what Ahsoka Thrawn, is.
Exactly.
That's going to be Thrawn heavy. That's going the Heir to the Empire movie is going to be Thrawn heavy. It's going to be kind of the culmination of all these stories. So it's like I get what you're saying. It's like I want that too, right? But then if we would have gotten too much emphasis on Thrawn and too much emphasis on kind of the Rebel storyline and Heir of the Empire, then we would have been like,
overloaded.
We weren't getting enough. Yeah, we didn't get enough of the Mando story. We didn't get enough of Din and Bo-Katan and Mandalore and Moff Gideon, which we already didn't. A lot of people don't think we got enough of as is. So if you try to oversaturating the story with the big bad, of this mini whatever TV,
the saga,
the
between sequel saga,
the true sequel, the true sequel saga. I agree with you 1,000%. Like, as a true fan, like I think it's done perfect. And honestly, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, the one, I guess, because every tease of Thrawn has been like real quick, and it's just a name mention, and
name drops and
sentences about it. And it's about how serious Thrawn is as a character and also as a villain now. So
a good amount of buildup.
That what we have is almost it's almost like just the tip, and then Ahsoka comes in and you getting the whole fucking thing. I do agree with you on that. What we've gotten is good. I just wanted just a face shot of Thrawn as a post-credit scene to this episode would have just made it.
No, it's got to be like what we said in the chat. They got to do it like what I said in the chat, bro. They got to do a teaser where he's just walking up onto the command deck, and then it's like panning up. He's saying some shit, some like villainous, some insanely like eloquent villainous shit, and it pans up and just cuts out after it gets to the back of his head. And it's like Thrawn will return.
No, they can't tease Thrawn in Mando season 3 because he's going to be the villain in Ahsoka, and we don't know what Mando season 4 is going to be, so we don't know what the story entails.
There probably won't be a Mando season 4.
There will. It's in production right now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's in production right now.
I didn't even know if that was the thing. You're right. Favreau did come out and say that it's already
or in development. Sorry, not production, development. They're working on it.
To me, this finale. Like, I don't need a Mando season 4. I just low-key kind of want Mando and Ahsoka and then whatever, maybe Skeleton Crew or somehow. I guess we're going to get a season 4, and it'll tie into the Empire movie, but I don't know. I just
But that's what gets so complicated because how many Ahsoka seasons are we getting?
I think two max.
How many
it's got to be 2 max
seasons are we getting?
Skeleton Crew, maybe 2 or 3.
Skeleton Crew might be one of those that you just get a one-off, and it's because it's.
When is Dave Filoni's movie coming out?
Like 2026,
bro.
So whenever we get Superman Legacy and all that shit,
Ahsoka season 1 and Ahsoka season 2 and Skeleton Crew season 1, and then we're getting the movie. That's a lot, dude.
That is a lot.
A short amount of time.
There's a lot of time in between then. So.
But you think about the amount of stuff that's going to be coming out in like not even going to talk about like other studios. Let's talk about Disney stuff in general. They're going to have all the Avengers stuff happening, all the Marvel stuff. They got Indiana Jones. They got of course all the Disney movies sprinkled in between there. Like when are they going to have time to bang 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 knock all these out, drop them all within a year or whatever, 2 years, 3-year time span? We're going to be flooded, man. We're going to be stuck here watching a million things.
Before we move on, I just want to say really quickly that I just want to mention a couple of things that I like from the Mandalorian finale, just so that.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
But
go ahead.
Cook. That I liked how we got the the Din we all fell in love with back. That
Yes,
motherfucker.
Oh, fuck yeah.
he was
He
him
badass, bro.
jarring, him
The way he
jarring.
took that, the way he took out those Praetorian guards, and the way he took out
Facts.
all the clone troopers with just a knife. You know, I
Bro,
like how they
the
incorporated-
shield scene with the vibro
Yeah.
blade and the stupid ass R5. Bro was a hero that day.
R5.
He was a hero that
Yeah,
day.
I like how they incorporated a Grogu as like a capable enough partner, not just a little kid who needs to be protected, but as
an ally, combatant.
as an ally, exactly, companion
Yeah.
that
A
can help out.
Mandalorian.
Exactly.
Mandalorian.
And I like how they fucking got rid of the Darksaber. And we
I-
talked about this.
Yeah, we did
talked
talk about
this
yeah.
already.
I agree.
There's a lot of people who are really upset about it, who think it's stupid, but we discussed in the group chat how the Darksaber is a symbol of all that was wrong with Mandalore and the old Mandalorian
With the
cultures.
Mandalorian people.
About
Yep.
how it represents this outdated ideology, and oftentimes the Darksaber matters more than who's wielding it. They follow the
Yeah.
Darksaber and what it means and what it represents,
Rebels is
not so
right.
much the
What-
person who's in charge or who's leading them. And I think the destruction of the Darksaber symbolizes a new beginning for Mandalore and a new beginning for Mandalorians, where they can leave behind these old ideologies. And obviously that, it's true, because we see the old Children of the Watch and the Night Owls kind of come together, these two different factions, form this new coalition of Mandalorians who can coexist despite their differences. And I think that, although kind of heavy-handed, the destruction of the Darksaber does symbolize this new era of Mandalore and Mandalorian kind of existence. So
But the
I like that.
destruction
as
is
well.
almost like the construction.
Exactly.
Yeah. What did
It's almost like things that finally like kind of come full circle.
Yeah.
And obviously the Darksaber is sick, and we all want to see someone wielding the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm.
But
What did
it's that thing to where like they don't need that.
And I
They
liked
need
and I liked how Grogu communicated with the Mythosaur. That was fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, buddy, we haven't seen that enough yet.
That one we need more. We need more of. Yeah.
It's got. They wouldn't have that shot in the last 6 minutes of the episode of the Mythosaur sitting there.
It was literally the last shot of the
Darksaber
show.
The
Wasn't it?
Darksaber from now
Second
on
to
is
last.
the symbol of the people. It's not the Darksaber anymore. It's the Mythosaur.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We don't need a constructed weapon from when was it was Vizsla.
Tar Vizsla back in
Vizsla.
back in High Republic. Old Republic days.
Now it's time to have something that is
of
modern,
Mandalore.
of Mandalore itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the Mythosaur itself. So I do think that the Darksaber being destroyed is kind of like, let's move on from this division almost.
I think it served a narrative purpose. I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were just kind of like, what the fuck do we do with the Darksaber, bro? Like, we can't
Dave Filoni's the one that created it.
Yeah,
But
so
you
he was
can't
probably.
keep having it.
That's what I'm saying. He was like, we can't keep passing it back and forth from Din to Bo, from Bo to the new lead. They're like, bro, just fucking
give it to me.
Matters. They're like,
I need it.
What matters is the resurgence of Mandalore. That's what's important. Okay, how do we get there?
The
Okay,
people,
fuck the Darksaber.
not
Exactly.
just the planet, but it's the people.
Yeah. So it did seem like they didn't really know what the fuck to do with the Darksaber. So they're like, fuck it, just blow that bitch up. Let's
blow that bitch up.
All right, so
I think
what they said,
that the Darksaber had its own kind of like arc, and it's low key.
It did.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have minded if it would have died, or not died, but been destroyed by Maul.
Yeah, exactly.
Malachor. Like somehow Maul found the Darksaber again. Was like, I remember when I held this. Done.
Yeah.
So what did
what are the?
I was gonna. Oh, go ahead, do the rating, then I'll say what I was gonna say. It's kind of like the closer. Go ahead and let's do our rating for the episode.
Episode and the season.
And the season. So episode rating and the season.
Episode and the season.
Yeah.
Episode, I'll give an 8.5. The season, I'll give a 6.5.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with Luis.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on. 100. Same here, because I was about to say 8.5.
8.5 might be a little much for this finale.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
I give it 8.5.
Finale, I'm gonna give you a fucking 9.5.
That one's
giving it a
that
2.
Easy. It's because he found out it's Peyton Reed. That's why he's giving it 2. Nah, we caught you. It's too
I was
late.
just joking. It was just joking. I didn't like that episode, bro. That shit sucked. It was dog
Yeah,
shit.
we already got on. We already got you on film, my boy. We got
I
down
was
and caught
joking.
you.
Okay.
We
I'm
caught
that
you.
good an actor. It seemed like I didn't remember. That's how good I
Right,
am, bro.
right.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely. We're
Az,
definitely
what's
buying
your
that.
what's your rating, bro?
With as many pacing issues as there were during some parts of the season, and it felt like it was rehashing certain bits. It did seem a little bit, I don't want to say cobbled together. That seems a little bit rude and a little bit disrespectful. It's still overall a good show. So I'd say season wise, not as strong as season 2. So I'd say reasonably about a 7 to 7.5 overall for the season. Episode
Valid.
wise, pretty good finale. Honestly, if we didn't get any more Mandalorian after it, I wouldn't necessarily be that hurt about it. I'm not too,
I would.
too that much ingrained with the Mandalorian. I think it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not too attached to it. So I would respectfully have to say, give this episode solid. It's a little bit better than the whole season, so I'd say solid 8. Solid 8.
Okay.
It's the best episode of the season.
Yeah,
Agreed.
definitely.
The
Oh, yeah.
fighting. Let me talk about the fighting for a second.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The armor when they were flying around.
She was with the hammer in the air.
battle was badass.
She was on. She was like Thor in there. She was really fucking it up.
Bro, she was going crazy, and then it would have the shots of Bo-Katan and Moff
And the
Gideon
Darksaber.
fighting. Well, in the back you have all of them
The brawl,
fighting.
a la air on air attack.
I'll just say that this season had some of the best shots in Star Wars that I've ever seen. Some
Yep.
of the dog fighting
Really.
Yeah, absolutely.
is fucking amazing.
And some of the worst.
that, like there were some bad shots. There were some bad shots.
Coruscant.
Talk about
But-
Coruscant.
Coruscant.
Coruscant looked bad. Coruscant
Coruscant
bad.
slander.
Like the Jack Black and Lizzo episode. That city, like they tried a little too much Blade Runner shit, and it didn't
Yeah.
look as good as like.
Oh, yeah, at
I
night.
think they looked. Yeah, and it was more like I'm not hating, like more pink and more of those like highlighting
Chorus
neon
shit.
lights.
The neon colors, the fluorescent bulbs and
I just
shit.
I don't think it really worked that well. But some of those, the main compliment are the first person shots of the starships that we would get.
Yeah.
Especially like the Gladiator ship that Bo-Katan would be flying, and Din ship, the N1. That's the most disgusting starship in any sci-fi.
The shot
that
of
has
that
like
episode that
spaceships.
Carl Weathers directed, where it's the N1 in the sun,
The gauntlet?
in the sun.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, no, it's
With the
the
Apocalypse
N1.
Now,
when
with
he cut off
the
the-
Apocalypse
It's the Apocalypse
Now.
Now homage, yeah. And it's
Even the
the
TIE
N1
fighters and they're doing this. Oh my
and
god,
the
it
TIE
looks so
fighters are in
good.
the sun. Yeah,
It looks so good.
Beautiful.
That's
And
called
it
that's
was
called
beautiful.
what? That's called peak cinema. That's chef kiss.
But this
Michael
episode
Martin
had it too.
Scorsese meme peak cinema. I got my glasses
What you
on.
saying,
Hold
Brandon?
on.
Nah, just some of the like shots this last episode were really good, and then some
Yeah.
were not that good. Like
Agreed.
the fighting,
Yep.
there were a couple of fighting scenes that were mid, but Bo-Katan flying around with that Darksaber on.
Yeah,
was fucking
the
awesome.
attack,
fucking shit up.
the first attack when she flew in, and then that shit Koska did where she was those two Beskar
Oh,
troopers
she
are after her.
slid on
She
the
slid on
little-
it and then
Oh,
she
she-
went down with
yeah.
the knee blast. I was like, oh my god.
Mhm.
Ah,
Yeah.
don't, and that's me not even being a Koska, Koska Reeve acolyte, Koska Reeve stan.
You're Coco Reeves stan, bro.
I'm
Like,
I'm the president of the Koska Reeves fan club. All that. I'm Matt Reeves. I'm changing my name right now, bro. In there. Yeah, she was going off, and I was really, a lot of people were saying that she's one of the spies, and they were talking about Axe was one of the
The whole
spies and all that.
spy
I'm like, bro, the spy was it was Eliakane. That was the very
That's it.
obvious spy,
That's it.
Oh,
So
by the way, speaking of spies and badass women,
What do you
we
got?
talk about that Ahsoka. About
Nice.
so you're talking about
flawless
Let's
sex.
go.
You did a
Yeah.
segue.
I had one-
The
I had-
best Star Wars media we've had since season 7 of Clone Wars.
I had one other thing I was
The Last Jedi.
I had
Oh,
nah,
just
bro. Nah. I had another thing I was going to say before we close out the topic on the Mandalorian.
What's
Yep.
up?
Speaking of touching back on the whole dark saber thing and just the history of that blade and the family ties to it, the Vizsla clan, Ragnar, young bull, young Ragnar is now fatherless Ragnar. We got the Batman story about to go with this young man. I think we'll see, and this is just my own headcanon, my predictions, hopefully whenever Disney finally, picks up this episode and hears us out, they'll adapt like the Boba Fett stories that we read in the books and make it sort of like adapt it to Ragnar, make him have his own adventures, make him be this one badass lone bounty hunter Mandalorian. Maybe we'll see him create his own dark saber. Maybe he'll make it his specifically Vizsla clan, like a handed down generation to generation. At the risk of at the risk of like recycling that whole aspect of the Mandalorians, but I mean it'd be cool to see him make a name for himself outside of being part of the covert or being part of the main Mandalorian story. I'd like to see that, but like I said,
we saw his dad go crazy.
He went hard. He has to. He's gotta be.
Bro, Pac was crazy last episode. Like
Yeah, he was in there working, and like it was just great to see him get his moment to shine, because at the beginning of everything he had beef with Mando. They were not cool with each other, and eventually it evolved to respect, and now he's more like they're like brothers. So, but like you said, the dark saber is done.
Dead.
But like you said, like I was saying, the dark saber is dead. Word to Kylo Ren: let the past die. Kill it if you have to. They killed it, just like they killed this episode. This episode was awesome, and like AZ said, let's go ahead and dive into the Ahsoka show, upcoming. When is the release date for that? Is that this year? Sometime this year?
Let me go ahead
Fall
and
this
look
year.
it up. It is fall, I believe.
This fall of this year, I think.
They need to be summer. Then move it that time frame up, boy.
I need that shit like
Today.
This week.
He said this week.
Let's see.
August of 23.
Yeah, August 23.
My sources confirmed.
We pretty much had Visions coming out next month.
That's true. Visions does come out on the 4th, right?
That's gonna be fire.
Oh, let's back up just a little bit to next week. On the 28th, we got Return of the Jedi returning to theaters. So we're not going to be starving for Star Wars content for a while. We're going to be seeing a lot of galaxy far, far away type shit. So I'm ready. But speaking of the main event, or the next main event, Ahsoka, man, goddamn, I'm ready.
Goddamn.
My body's ready. I've been waiting for this day. I've been waiting for this moment ever since I watched the Clone Wars. I said, we need to see this. We need this. We need that, and we desire this. Just off of what we saw in that little snippet from Star Wars Celebration, boy, this is about to either go super, super hard, or like this is going to be one of those like critically analyzed and panned type shows. Me personally, I think it's going to be super, super hard. I think it's going to go super hard. I think they're going to do everything right. It's Filoni's like baby. He's in here. He's making this shit happen. He's doing his thing. This is going to be good. Like, if y'all don't take anything from this episode, after everything that we talk about, just know this. We said it here first. I mean, everyone's probably saying it too. Ahsoka's going to be top 10, not even top 10, top 2 Star Wars show out this year. Top 2, boy.
There was only 2.
Exactly.
It's not number 2.
And it's not 2.
And it's not number 2.
No, it'll definitely be top 5 Star Wars show in the last 3 years. So I'll give it that.
I'd say it'll be top 5 Star Wars projects. I think it's gonna be great.
But that's because you're a big time Thrawn fan, bro. You're a Thrawn disciple.
But here's the thing: if y'all watch Rebels, this is Rebels 2.0. Like,
Yeah.
is gonna
Rebels extra more better.
And if you haven't watched Rebels, you are missing out on some of the best Star Wars shit that you will ever watch. Bro, I was going home during high school, turning on Disney XD.
Back in the day.
17 years
Back
old,
in the day.
Like, bro, what are you watching? I'm like, Star Wars is coming on. Thrawn is about to pop up.
Y'all gonna be mad. Y'all gonna be mad as hell when Ahsoka is.
Nah, it's not gonna be like Obi-Wan. It's not gonna be like Obi-Wan.
It's gonna
This
be
is
mid.
Filoni.
It's gonna be mid as
No,
fuck.
This is Filoni with the chef hat on and the Gordon Ramsay wrist
know.
motion.
Dave Filoni has never ran a show by himself, completely written a show by himself, and been the main creative force behind something by himself in live action.
Was it Rebels?
In live action, and it's a completely different medium than animation.
That's what Jon Favreau's there for.
But John was doing season 3 though.
I mean, well, I don't know. They're like kind of hand in hand. Filoni, I don't know. I mean, I guess you do kind of have a point, but
they're like Pippen and Jordan.
I feel like they
from the Bulls,
unless it is perfect.
No way, bro. They dropped Obi-Wan cause shit be, and that shit was not perfect.
Obi mid, Kenobi.
You could tell Filoni and Favreau had nothing to do with Obi-Wan, and you could obviously tell.
I know they didn't.
Ass. It was 2 packs of ass. That's what it was. Ahsoka's gonna
right.
I really have faith. Like, I'm skeptical about a lot of shit, especially recently with Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy. Like, you got to be skeptical about some shit. Ahsoka's gonna be fucking good.
All right, I hope you're right.
Ahsoka's gonna be good. They're gonna have, and I'm gonna tell y'all 2 leaks straight up. We're gonna forget about it by the time the season even comes out.
No, we're not. Because our
for anybody with amazing memory.
Yes.
Because our what's our prediction? What's our prediction rate right now? Our kill death ratio? We're like 100 to 0. Like, we have not missed. Well, we missed that one time, but that's because like I you know what I'm saying, like sometimes you can't always be right. We can be 99%. We're good, but like,
I actually predicted Jonathan Major's downfall, but we cut it from an episode. I think because
real?
We don't. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Oh my god! We kept it going. You should have kept it going.
I should have been like, yeah, we did. Anyways, what are the 2 leaks from Ahsoka?
There's gonna be 2 episodes that are strictly about Ahsoka and Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be Ahsoka going in the world between worlds, which she is the only character other than Palpatine who tried to in Rebels.
Let's go.
She is the only character in Star Wars that can access this plane of existence or whatever, which you see in Rebels. And
she meditated.
She's gonna go into it, and she's gonna be like, "What if I was there instead of Obi-Wan on Mustafar?" And she's gonna.
She would have gotten packed up. The fuck?
No, exactly. She's gonna get packed up. So we're gonna get an episode where she is fighting Anakin on Mustafar, and she gets fucked up, and he becomes Vader because his destiny
is to become Vader.
It is happening in the Star Wars timeline, like it's supposed to happen. He has to become Vader, and then we're going to get a live action one where she thinks what she would have done different on Malachor when she gets the upper half.
Yeah, and she reveals that he's Anakin. Yeah.
Yes, and he's like Ahsoka, whatever. It's going to be a live action fight. We're going to get those 2 in live action.
Kind of like the Obi-Wan scene where he cut the helmet there too.
Exactly, but if you know the side that Ahsoka cut off,
but good or more better,
more better, extra more better,
extra more gooder version,
extra more gooder version. I'm gonna touch on what you just said, because you just like brought a thought to my head. So many years ago, before even before like Marvel What If came out, I had tweeted like what would have happened if Anakin and Obi-Wan, if it would turn out differently, or like if Anakin won. And like, it was a whole long thread, blah, blah, blah. Like, basically, Anakin beat Obi-Wan and he fucking became Vader, but he wasn't like a machine, and he killed the Emperor, took over all the shit. Yeah, and he ran the Empire. Everyone would be fucked up. Bodies everywhere. Youngling Slayer 9000 slaying the younglings, like all that shit. Tragedy, chaos, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. Word to Yoda. But like, I tweeted that, and then like Marvel What If came out. I was like, And then somebody was like, oh, what if they had a Star Wars What If? I'm like, bro, give me my fucking flowers, give me my copyright shit, bro. I made that shit. I tweeted up. I was the first one. Okay, I was the first one to put that in the air, in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And like,
bar for bar.
Word for word, bar for bar. And the fact that like it's gonna be in a flashback scene, like a what if, like a hypothetical. I'm hoping they do it like you remember how they went to Mortis in the Clone Wars?
Exactly what it's That's
I'm
exactly.
hoping it's like
not gonna be
yes,
like a flashback.
but like
It's gonna
a
be flashback.
vision.
Ahsoka looking through a portal.
The Force.
Mhm.
What happens?
That's what I want
In
to
the world
see,
between worlds.
bro.
It's
Put
gonna
us.
be crazy.
Why are we not in the writers' room? My God, like why are we every day we hop on this every day we
Dave
clock
already
in
wrote it. Because
to this
Dave wrote
show
it already.
every day we
Because
clock
they-
in on this
because they have
podcast.
Our Lord and Savior
Dave Filoni.
Glupshido, aka
Glove
Dave
shit.
Filoni.
Glove shit. And he was in the
No,
episode
listen,
because there was
I hope-
was about to say,
I hope I'm wrong, and Ahsoka is the best thing to come out of Star Wars since
it will
fucking
be the
The
Clone
Oh, you're
Wars
right,
season
Pete.
7.
But,
I can see it. I can see
Mhm.
it.
I'm on the fence just because everything thus far has disappointed me in one way or another,
this is true.
you know,
This
and
is
nothing has ever lived up to my expectations. So I feel like if I go into it with low expectations, then I can't be disappointed, and I will always be impressed.
I definitely agree with how Matt introduced the segment with where he was saying it's either going to be the best or the worst. Now, what is? I'm trying to really think of what would be considered the worst because aside from Obi-Wan, I
Obi-Wan.
really can't think of anything.
Oh, the Rise of
worst Star Wars
Skywalker.
project in general?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of
The rise of
Skywalker.
fucking the
If we're
downfall of
talking-
Skywalker.
But if we're talking about television, I would say Boba Fett is definitely the worst. So
I like Boba
so-
Fett more than I liked Obi-Wan.
There you
and
go.
I think for the most part,
Talk to
what's
him.
going to really drag this down in the long run, what's going to make it be viewed by Star Wars fans in a negative light, is the hype. I feel like hype is what mainly gets like even myself as a fucking Star Wars fan, like y'all see it up there. Empire Strikes Back, the best one. I don't have a New Hope.
You're
I
goated.
have Return of the Jedi, but we're still working on that.
You need to get the Last Jedi on there, boy.
But I will say the main thing that gets me in my own head when it comes to Star Wars content is the hype for it. I am hoping to God that it is something that's going to flip the entire universe because that's why I liked things like
Don't do that. See, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly, but it's not even
just
just
fans like that.
exactly.
I know, but you
I'm
can't.
the same way.
But you can't be like that.
It's a
You have
vicious
to.
cycle.
Yes, but you
And
have to
We've
temper
had so much good
expectations.
shit that there's no
Sure.
reason to have mid shit.
But
And
no,
when
but
we
look,
get
here's the
mid,
thing.
it's-
Exactly.
But here's the thing.
We've gone
if
through
you've
so many
gotta temper
times where
expectations, or
we've
else
been
you're
burned
always gonna be
before
disappointed.
by bad Star Wars media and just such mediocrity that if we have even the smallest glimmer of something being at least like a B tier show, we will sing its praises from the mountaintops, and then when it's bad, we are just crushed. So I'm trying to work on this myself. I really do want this to be a great show because honestly, I didn't finish Rebels. I'm not gonna lie. I went back and I started watching Rebels when this trailer dropped because for me, I wasn't as into Rebels as I was into Clone Wars.
Sure.
And then I went back and I watched it because I wanted to be refreshed. And I, for instance, like I didn't understand why in the trailer Sabine was looking at that picture of Ezra. I was like, where the fuck is Ezra at? Where is Kanan? I didn't understand why any of this shit was going on the way it was. And going back, now having that knowledge refreshed, I'm able to like look at all the different things and not even just view this as simply a sequel to Clone Wars or as a Rebel season, I believe 7, because they finished off at 6, correct? I might be.
Rebels is 4 seasons. Rebels is 4 seasons. Clone Wars is 7.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm viewing this
I know
as
what you're saying though.
yeah. I want to view this as its own thing because it's a culmination of those two ideas into one.
Right. Rebels mainly. It does Clone Wars with Ahsoka, but Rebels mainly.
And there are a bunch of familiar faces we see in the trailer. You see, God, I can never remember her name. She's the main Twi'lek pilot of the Ghost.
Hera. Captain
Yes, you
Syndulla,
see
my
Hera.
goat.
Yes.
Mommy.
You see,
Bro said,
I do not good
mommy.
notes.
Bro said, uppies.
You do see familiar faces. You do see Harrison Dula, the captain of the Ghost one. You do get to see.
She has long hair.
Yes, you get to see long hair. She is in her full armor that she is. It looks like a little bit of an updated version from the series, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
I'm glad to see the colors back though.
Yeah,
the
it
purple
looks
and
slightly
everything. Let's
They
go.
showed an extended trailer of Ahsoka at Star Wars Celebration that they released online, and it shows Sabine holding fucking Ezra's green lightsaber. It has a sequence of her turning it on, and then it has a sequence of her using it, blocking some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got Ezra's lightsaber. The finale of Rebels, you'll get there. And I mean, it's no spoilers, but the final shot.
Oh, I know what happens to Ezra. I do know he makes friends with some whales, basically. And,
The Purgils,
yeah.
that we saw in episode 2 of or episode 1 of Mando, the Purgils.
Yeah, and he basically tells Thrawn something along the lines of, "If I'm going down, you're going down with me," and he fucking
Hard.
goes off in hyperspace.
Ezra and Thrawn are taken by the Purgils to the Beyond region, which are past the unknown regions. So you've got the outer rim, mid rim, whatever, unknown region.
Mid.
So he's presumed dead, essentially.
And Ezra and Thrawn are presumed dead, but they know that Ezra's not dead.
The motherfuckers. They went to the Beyond verse. They were the Beyonders.
Yeah. It's actually called the Beyond regions, and that's where. So talking about Ahsoka, like Thrawn and Ezra are in the Beyond regions, and we're gonna see Thrawn pretty much with an army that has the Night Sisters, because Night Sisters are from the Beyond region. That's where they originated from, and Dathomir is almost like a pilgrimage planet. Like they go to, and you stay there if you want, because obviously Night Sisters did live on Dathomir with Maul, Savage Press, whatever. But where Ezra sent him and Thrawn, like they're basically in almost like the origins of the galaxy, where a bunch of shit like that is spread out into what we know is the Star Wars galaxy has come from originally.
Gotcha.
Snoke talks about in episode 7, and Palpatine talks about how like he grabbed Snoke from way out of this random spot that was fueled by the dark side and brought him in. Snoke's probably from this Beyond region. Man.
He's a Beyonder. He's a Beyonder.
Okay.
Marvel.
We also have some other familiar faces I'm seeing in the trailer. I'm just going over like different stills from it.
On Ahsoka.
We also have some unfamiliar faces too.
Oh yes.
Let's talk about go ahead. Talk about the familiar ones real quick, because I had a guy I was going to bring up.
One of my favorite parts of Rebels. I love a good sassy
Chopper?
robot. And Chopper's back.
My goat.
Cross-section
Everybody stand up.
I love him. I love Chopper so much.
He might be my favorite part of Rebels.
Like, a lot of people have made the joke that R2-D2's beeps and boops are just him swearing, but I'm so convinced that
No, Chopper be using cuss words, bro. He be saying
all
fuck.
the time.
Fuck every other word. Like,
he's just fucking done. He's seen it all. He's at this point, he's like tired of everyone and everything, and I just love it. We also have, I believe, let me see. Do we have, I do not remember, is Zeb in the trailer anywhere? Is he seen anywhere?
Zeb's not in the trailer, but
we can expect him to be there. Mon Mothma's in there, yeah.
Mon Mothma is in the trailer.
How's she not aged, bro? How's she not aged, bro? Because if you think about it,
mommy.
She was, boy.
I need to stop. I'm sorry. I apologize.
She was, wasn't she in episode 3? Wasn't she in somewhere in episode 3? Or no?
She was
the deleted scene in episode 3. Yeah.
She was in episode 3, and then they brought her in on Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
She did Andor. And
she's also in episode 6. Episode 7, I believe.
7, yeah. She's in one of the sequels, maybe 7 or 8, one of those. And now she's in Ahsoka. Like, somehow Mon Mothma has returned.
Somehow Mon Mothma returned.
And I'm okay with that.
Do not ask.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
But as far as unfamiliar faces, we do see one. Mr. Lightsaber guy. Matt, you wanna lead us into a talk on that? Who is that guy?
My goat, Ray Stevenson. My goat, Ray Stevenson is Balin, bro. We get to see, bro. First of all, he was done dirty in The Punisher. That movie.
Oh yeah, he was a Punisher.
With that dog shit ass script. He's a great
Punisher,
actor.
Right?
Yeah. Warzone, yeah.
Punisher, isn't that what it's called?
He is a phenomenal actor with a dog shit script. And then he was in the MCU as a Volstagg from the Warriors 3, comic relief. I need to see this man cook. I need to see him put his whole Steven Sinisi in this damn role, bro. I'm ready. I feel like he can carry a villainous role really well. I'm excited to see.
That's what I'm excited to see how Dave Filoni explains what they are, because
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like they're inquisitors, right?
maybe like
There's been
dark side attuned. Oh, go ahead, cook.
They survived Order 66, and I don't know. We don't know where they were during Order 66. They're probably, what I'm thinking is that they have been in the Beyond regions the whole time, and they were there when Order 66 happened, and they couldn't, like, there was no reason basically for them to come back from the Beyond regions. And the reason that their lightsabers are orange, and Dave Filoni came out and said that it is purposefully done to where it is orange. He claims that it's from the original cut from Episode 4 that Vader's
looked a little bit more orange than red,
which it does. But I'm willing to bet my soul that they are.
Boy said his soul.
Synthetic
kyber crystals.
Synthetic kyber crystals, because they have not been able to find another Jedi's kyber crystal to bleed it to where it becomes red. Because they've been out in the Beyond regions away from everybody, and they haven't been around since Order 66 happened, if not before, because he is older. And the chick that he has with him, the little scout rogue looking girl, I can't.
The white haired girl.
Is it Shin?
She has a Padawan braid. It's Shin something, or Sunu.
Shin Hati. I hope I said that right. I probably butchered the fuck out of that.
Yeah, that's right. But she has a Padawan braid, so it's pretty much like they were both on a mission together. Order 66 happened, and here
turned
they
to
are.
the dark side.
It's his apprentice.
And that's why they have an orange blade. I think the crystal is going to be synthetic, because before Disney bought Star Wars, all red kyber crystals were
synthetic.
Crystals.
I think it was.
Disney bought it, and that's when they brought in the bleeding effect, and like how Ahsoka tried to do it.
That was a good idea. I like that they did that.
Oh, I facts. That's the best thing that Disney added on.
Was bleeding kyber crystals. Yeah.
Instead of capitalist manufactured Hasbro reds, we made this shit in the lab. We built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I think that's how they're gonna have their sabers built. Out there. It's like Tony Stark with a box of scraps, like some shit that they like. Just something
cobbled together.
Look funky.
Like Ray's
built his suit with the box of
scraps.
Yeah.
I think
Ahsoka's gonna fuck.
In
Absolutely.
traditional Star Wars, if I'm remembering this correctly, orange symbolizes it's used by primarily 1 second.
The what?
It's like the opposite of Mace Windu. It's opposite of purple.
Like, it's used by
Jedi is leaning on
Jedi with the tapping in the dark side.
Orange is like a dark side, kind of tapping into the light, or someone that's really more in the middle, like a Qui-Gon Jinn.
A Diet Sith.
They're great Jedi, right?
Diet Sith.
So my theory is similar to Grant's in the aspect that these were definitely Jedi that were like cast out. They were off doing something else when Order 66 happened, right? And we do see throughout the prequel series, and a lot of, I believe it's what is the Clone Wars-esque animation that they did for the prequel where it's where it shows Dooku.
The Samurai Jack.
Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi.
Yes. Where it shows,
we'll get to season 2 of.
Where it shows how inefficient
Let's go.
That, a lot of the bureaucracy of the original Republic was in the Jedi Order. So what I'm thinking is similar to this. It's said a lot throughout Star Wars that the Jedi brought about their own destruction. So my theory is this. Because these Jedi are traditionally gray and they walk neither the path of the light nor the dark, they're somewhere specifically in the middle. My theory is because you see this guy attacking what appears to be some sort of rebel stronghold or some sort of like formerly
like
Republic area. Formerly New Republic area. What I'm thinking is these are Jedi, for lack of a better word, just to use a good colloquial term to get everybody on the same page. What I'm thinking is that these people are ones that have seen how the Jedi have fallen. They don't want to pledge themselves all the way to the dark, but they do need to think that all of the old, they are in the same way that the Inquisitors are hunting down the Jedi. They want all of the original Jedi gone. They want them finito, no Chief Keef, because they're like, listen, the last time the Jedi were in power, they brought
What
about
if they tie that into Dawn of the Jedi? Like
Exactly.
the original Jedi. Like
Exactly.
The Jedi.
Exactly. They're trying to bring back the more traditional way where the Jedi don't interfere in government, where they are just simply about their order. And they also view the Empire and their whole reign of the Sith and the Inquisitors as giving too far into the dark. And
just like
exactly.
me, boy.
So,
it's just a new name, and that's what
exactly
the New Republic just being a new empire.
Exactly. So the best way to walk that middle path would be a completely clean slate, which means to wipe out all of the Jedi that oppose you. So you
And what did Kylo Ren say? Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Exactly. Exactly. I am calling it. That is my prediction, and I'm locking it in.
Bro is cooking. Bro is cooking. Bro is cooking too much.
What was in his bag?
But you have to think they're making the James fucking
Mandalorian.
That's true. That is true.
The Jedi movie. So, bro, I just feel like
that shit gonna go so hard.
It's like poetry. It rhymes. Like you.
Yes, sir.
People out from maybe this Dawn of the Jedi movie will take place in the Beyond regions, where fucking somehow, some way, Ezra sent them to the home planet of the Jedi. Like
did we talk about this?
A-I-I.
We haven't talked about this on an episode before, right?
No.
Okay, it's gonna be. People are gonna hate Dawn of the Jedi, regardless of what happens, or regardless of how good that movie is, because
it's gonna be like The Last Jedi.
Because it's the beginning of the Force, of people discovering the Force, how to use the Force. It's like he said it's going to be like a biblical epic, So it's like it's going to be, I think, divisive in that it's going to basically establish canon that has not been established before, at least not canonically, right? And that's going to be it's going to have massive repercussions, because this is going to be the origin of the Force and of Force users in this universe. And I think people are going to be incredibly upset because it's not exactly how they envision it or how they want it to be. So although I believe in James Mangold's abilities as a filmmaker, I think he's a fantastic writer, I think he's a phenomenal director. He's a fantastic filmmaker. I think the movie's going to be great simply because it's going to be a great movie, period. I do think in terms of it being in the Star Wars universe, it's going to be tough for everybody to get behind it. And I think and I think it's going to be, and I think it's a hard position to be in, right? To be in a situation.
Especially an origin movie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So
the book of it, we just talked about the Great Jedi. They really emphasize the Dawn of the Jedi. It's balance. You have it's holy shit! It's the planet that Grogu was on in season 2 when he sat on the boulder.
Yeah.
That is from the history that we've had up to this date. That is the original Jedi planet where the Jedi.
The first Jedi temple,
And if you feel the pull to the dark side, you go to this moon that's in the same system. That's a light side moon, and you just feel the pull to the dark side. They're like, "Hey, go over here, have your little pilgrimage.
Let the light wash over you." Yeah.
Yes, and then if you're
they're going to space Mecca.
Get that ass, and then if you're feeling the light side, you go to this other moon. That's
crazy.
And you get
it's about balance.
Is the focus on, and I think that what we're about to get with the Rey stuff and what they really tried to hammer home on The Last Jedi, I just don't think they did it right. Is that The Last Jedi was a lot about the balance, and that Rey needs to find this balance, unlike Luke did, which I think is kind of bullshit. I think Luke should have learn that there is a balance, but he didn't. And that's why his Jedi Academy ended or whatnot. I don't know. I think the Dawn of the Jedi shit will be cool because it's about
Exactly.
that balance, and I think that
Well, it's
I'm
like whenever
excited.
and when you mention balance, I can't help but think of that Freddie Prince Jr. interview where he talks about how
Mm-hmm.
people get so
Is that the
upset.
one you
They're like,
sent me earlier?
yeah, but he's like, you guys don't understand what the
Mm-hmm.
force is. He's like, everything that happens in this universe is because the force dictates it. So not because
dictates it.
someone,
Mhm.
not
It's
because someone is so powerful that's why everything works out there. He's like, no, everything happens because the force dictates it. So Anakin became Darth Vader because
because
the force wanted it to. Palpatine destroyed the Jedi
Force
Order and became
created
Emperor
it.
because the force wanted it. So Luke. That's why you then get Luke and Leia because there's two powerful Sith, Darth Vader and Darth Sidious. Thus, you have to bring about balance. You get Luke and Leia, the two powerful light side users, and it's just a cycle, and it's so forth and so forth. And so, and I really like and as fans, we can oftentimes get carried away about what we want or what an idealized Star Wars universe is.
What we
But
deserve.
what we think we deserve exactly and stuff like that. But I do think that setting the rules of this universe um, and laying them out very clearly by making a Dawn of the Jedi movie and being like everything is outside of our control. We don't control anything. It's all about the Force and, like you said, balance, and us just kind of learning to live with that and cope with that in the within this universe. I think that's going to be very important moving forward because then you can make the Rey movie and be like, oh, okay, well now we know everything that's happened
Let's
before.
focus on the
Yeah, exactly. Now we know what the rules of the universe are and what the rules of the Force are. How can we then expand on that, and how can Rey start her new Jedi Order without,
which is
conforming
what the
herself
era is called. It's going to be called the New Jedi Order.
exactly
Ooh.
without her conforming to the old ways of the Jedi that were
Yes.
that led to their
Right.
demise and stuff like that. Exactly. So I
You
do
know,
think that's
you
go
know,
for it,
you know
Izzy.
what
Yeah.
all this conversation of the talk of the universe of Star Wars and its future. It's got me thinking about what is our future, the children, and what is the future of the Star Wars children. This was a terrible way to
Nice.
segue it, but Skeleton Crew is the thing that's
No, that
happening.
Were
was
you trying
good.
to?
That
Especially
was
Were you trying to
good.
get the
That
scouts
was good.
crew?
No, that
Oh
was
my
That
god!
was good. You had it. You gave up on yourself. You had it
Bro,
though.
you had
We're
Hey,
like
almost
3
there.
words that could have been changed and it would have made
Yoda said, "Do or do not. There is no try." Go ahead and do that again.
You
Run
did
it
it.
back.
You
Okay.
did it.
Let's
All
go.
this
We
talk
heard. We see you.
of the future of the world of Star Wars has got me thinking, what is the future of our world, if not the children? And what are the future of Star Wars' world? The children of Star Wars. And what better way
Boom.
to talk about the children of Star Wars than in a show about them with Skeleton Crew? What is it? I don't necessarily know. Somebody explain
Nice.
this to me. I've heard of it. I just Googled it and I was like, wait, that's what this
Literally,
is?
the only thing there is the setting. It's set in the New Beyond, and that's it. The
Really?
And I
Beyond
think
region.
it's.
Like,
I think it's gonna be
the
after.
only thing
I think it's gonna be after. What's it called?
Ahsoka. It's gonna come out supposedly
Yeah.
right after Ahsoka, but it's gonna
But
be set in the same region that Thrawn
taking
and Ezra
place
in.
It's gonna be
during
post.
Mando and Ahsoka,
Yeah. Post Return of the Jedi, pre
Yeah.
the Force
pre the
Awakens
sequel trilogy.
timeline.
It's beyond region world building is what it is. Like in Ahsoka, we're gonna go straight there. We're gonna go into the beyond regions. Gonna go to the fucking planet that Thrawn's on. Maybe bounce between like 3 or 4.
And then Skeleton Crew will expand on that.
Happen and the Skeleton Crew's gonna expand on it, which it's got Jude Law and
Carrie Condon.
And
Let me look at
lucky,
some
Carrie
like
Condon's in it.
I'm in. They said it's
I'm
gonna be
ready.
the Stranger Things.
And
It's gonna
Jude
be the
Law
Stranger Things
is
of Star Wars.
Is
A
it confirmed
Jedi.
or is it just rumored that he's a Force
No.
user? That
He's a Jedi. Yeah.
Yes, no, he's a Jedi. There's been what are they called? Set pictures of him in like a Jedi robe.
Let's
And
go.
I'm pretty sure
Let's go.
I
Mhm.
like
Jude Law
Jude
is a Jedi.
so-
Jude Law is a Jedi. I'm in. Count me in.
Pete,
That's all I need.
sign me up.
Qui-Gon
Sign me
guy.
up.
Like I honestly would have liked Jude Law as a young Qui-Gon. in a show.
Ooh, I like that.
Like a young
Valid.
Liam Neeson. I still
Valid.
need that. There still has to be at some point.
Now hear me out. Hear me out. Billy Magnuson, young Qui-Gon.
And you think this is when we discover
Paul
his origin
Mescal.
for wanting to murder a black man, or is that after?
Oh God!
No.
Jesus H.
Yeah,
Christ.
the Liam Neeson.
I thought you were talking about Mace Windu for a second.
Everyone look up Liam Neeson
Yeah, don't look up
Black
Liam
Man
Neeson
on
Black
Google.
Man. Don't look that
On
up.
Google. Look it up. Yeah, so y'all know what I'm talking about.
You'll be cursed with knowledge.
But what I
Thanos.
comment on about Skeleton Crew is that I know it's the one project that we know the least about. It's what we have the least information on. So that's pretty exciting because they're keeping everything under wraps. But they released the list of directors, and I don't like John Watts. I really like his first movie that he made called Cop Car. His Spider-Man movies are kind of whatever. But I think they have the Daniels, who just won every Oscar known to man for directing Everything Everywhere All at
the
Once.
Green Knight doing
Yep, and David Lowery, the guy who directed the Green Knight, who directed A Ghost Story.
I talked to Luis about it. The Green Knight is my favorite movie in the last probably decade.
It's amazing.
I'm also seeing
he's directing an episode. Bryce Dallas Howard and Lee Isaac Chung.
Yeah,
Go
Favreau and Filoni
automatic
have their hands
goated.
in it.
Look, Lee Isaac Chung is a fantastic filmmaker. He directed the shitty Coruscant episode in season 3 of The Mandalorian. So
that's just
I heard Bryce Dallas Howard. I know we're in good hands. I already know we're set because
he
she's gonna
directed Minari,
cook.
which is a fantastic movie. But yeah, so I'm excited for Skeleton Crew.
Me too.
The director list they dropped at Star Wars Celebration, it definitely fucking added that
Yeah, we got my wife and then a whole bunch of bums.
Boy.
My wife and a whole bunch of bums.
He said my wife and a whole bunch of bums. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And the Daniels.
And David Lowery and Lee Isaac Chung.
I can't wait for when we get actually invited to press events and we run into Bryce Dallas Howard and she just doesn't know who the fuck you are, Luis. I'm so excited for that.
That's funny that you think that she's not gonna recognize me. My little wife.
She's not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna be like,
we're literally gonna pull up to the event together. What are you talking about? I don't know. How was she?
Be like, I'll meet you.
How would she not know?
There.
Yeah. How would she not know who she's sleeping in the hotel with? I don't understand. Like,
I'm gonna be there with the Casamigos flask, wondering how is this all even happening? How did this happen? How did we get here? Me sitting here contemplating, like, is this real life? Bro is with D.
But what I'm thinking, at least the vibe, and wait a minute. Okay, so I don't know if Amblin handles any other Star Wars related things, but I do know Amblin is what is his name? Spielberg's company.
Steven Spielberg.
And Spielberg is very famous for making two really. Let me search this. I might be incorrect, and I don't want to look like a
Steven
dumbass.
Spielberg has directed Jaws. He's directed E.T.
Oh, I know those, but I need to see who made this film.
Oh, this is gonna be like the Goonies? Is this gonna be like
That's
the
what I was
Goonies?
thinking. I was thinking it was.
They're saying Amblin.
No,
vibes.
yeah, someone did say Skeleton Crew was like the Goonies.
Okay, so never mind. That was Rob Reiner. I was thinking of the made Stand By Me, but I was thinking of
Goonies,
but I was thinking of it's going to be a very Goonies-esque thing, just a bunch of kids on an adventure.
Yeah.
They're saying Stranger Things. You had mentioned earlier, right, Grant?
Yes.
Stranger Things, but
We don't see Space Vecna.
Specna.
I'm glad you said the Goonies because someone did say
Specna.
the Goonies, and that's like, bro, the Goonies is one of my favorite movies.
It is a sensation.
Goonies never say die.
Goonies fucks.
Who just won the Grammy? Keho Quinn? He was in the Goonies.
You said a Grammy.
Quan, the Oscar.
The Oscar.
Yeah.
Boy, two L's. What's that? Two things wrong.
It's okay. We knew what you meant.
But it releases in.
I'm the official Graham translator.
It is released in 2023. It has yet to have an official release date, but all in all, it seems like we're pretty excited for Space Goonies.
It'll probably be like December.
I think we can.
Right?
Yeah, I was about to say December. I was literally about to say. You read my mind, bro. I was about to say December too.
That's so much Star Wars shit.
Oh yeah.
We just finished Bad Batch and Mando.
I'm not complaining.
Andor just ended like at the end of last year.
Literally, it's literally
come out soon too. I think.
Then we're getting Vision.
Yeah.
Then we're getting Ahsoka. Then we're getting
All in all, good year to be a Star Wars fan.